But just keep that in mind. You can have a mistake, but do not have more than one. Auburn Tigers, they get Olympic order. They'll start on vault. Oklahoma on bars, Arizona on the balance beam, and the Missouri Tigers on their best event, the floor exercise. Here's Julian Huff getting things started for the Tigers.
Opening 1.5 for Auburn. Clean step forward. Solid start for Auburn.
Vault, a low-scoring event through all the regionals, I think, Sam. So maybe a little bit of a tough spot for Auburn to start, do you think?
Possibly, or it could be an advantage that they're getting that out of the way and not finishing on that tough event.
Oklahoma starting on one of the 3 events they're ranked #1 in the country on the uneven bars. This is Danny Sievers.
Really patient with her swing. That tells me that she's not nervous. She's really calm, just being patient, waiting to get to that vertical handstand. Nicely done.
Senior Allison Fears for Arizona. Starting on being tough place to start, but it feels like if you can really crush it here, get this one put behind you, give yourself a chance.
I agree. Starting on beam is a tough place to start, but a team like Arizona just needs to send it. This qualifying into this regional finals was a huge accomplishment for them, so they just need to go big, no nerves, easier said than done, of course.
Kind of playing with house money, if you will. They got nothing to lose at this point. Swing for the fences. Raina Light on floor exercise, leading off from Missouri on an event they're ranked 4th in the nation.
This beam routine on the left-hand side of your screen is looking so good. There's been 0 wobbles. Can she stick the dismount? Just that tiny hop forward, but phenomenal start for Arizona.
Yes, Sam, watching some of the other regionals, it feels like people are just trying to get through. Maybe a little tight for some of the teams. It feels like it's harder than competing at the NCAA championships. If you're a favorite, you're expected to be there. You just need to do what you always do. But sometimes that's easier said than done when all the pressure of advancing is on your shoulder.
Yeah, you want it so badly. You've been practicing since the fall for this moment. And if you think about that, to your point, oftentimes it can cause more problems than it can help.
Sophia Bell on ball. She can fly on this event. She follows a 9.825 from Huff.
She's been switching between a Yurchenko full and a 1.5 all season, but did such a good job nailing it. Regionals day 2. She delivers again.
Plan well executed there. Nicely done from Raina White. I want to see that vault again from Sophia Bell.
Yurchenko full. See how she waits a beat right before she starts twisting, puts her in a phenomenal position to stick the landing. Only scored a 9.825 on regional second day, but I expect that to be higher.
Gianna Lyncher on balance beam for Arizona. Lily Pearson, one of those freshmen for the Oklahoma Sooners on bars, follows a 9.8 from Sievers.
Lily's one of the freshmen for Oklahoma, and I just gotta say how impressive it is that these freshmen have been so productive for Oklahoma all season long. This one in particular has ice in her veins. I swear she sticks every landing and is so unfazed.
Yeah, Oklahoma's so good on the uneven bars, and I really think when it comes down to it, an NCAA championship, assuming they make it, that is an event, I feel like they need to win that event. That's an event they are so good on. I think they stand out from most of the other teams, so I'd like to see them start really strong there. Raina Light, a 9.875 in the leadoff spot. Now Hannah Horton, who also exceptional with a very fun Michael Jackson themed routine on floor.
on the right-hand side of your screen. Hannah is so powerful. She did have an out of bounds on the second round. And actually, Missouri in general is typically a really strong floor team, but they actually got almost 3/10 lower than their NQS on floor. So this is an important event for them to improve after the second round.
And Hannah Horton only a 9.65 in that round, too. They're pretty much a predominantly 9.9+ team on this event.
Gianna finishing round of 1.5 to a stuck landing. She had that wobble where she picked her leg up, but other than that, it was a strong routine.
Yeah, they started with a 9.825 strong start score for balance beam. Shirley Peterson a 9.9 to follow up that 9.8 from Sievers.
You see her heel came up, but she did not slide her toes. You could tell she worked on that. A lot of powerful athletes really have to figure out ways to hold on to the landings without having your feet slide.
Sophia Bell a 9.9. I have an issue with the fact that we've seen some perfect, in my opinion, Yurchenko fours that will not go 9.95, and it's driving me crazy. Sophia Bell may be one of them. Sydney Shoemaker here in the third spot.
Yurchenko 1.5 in that tuck position. Man, Auburn wants it. Coming out of the gate with 2 in a row stuck vault landings, not easy to do.
It is early, but Auburn wants to put the pressure on the field. Great vault rotation. Addison Fada here for Oklahoma on bars.
Really dynamic, quick bar worker. I like how fast she gets her toes together in her handstands. Easy double layout to a stuck landing. And I feel like Oklahoma looked a little off in the second round, but just the 2 girls that have gone, 3 girls, they look like they are dialed in today. Perfect, a little bend, but doesn't mess up her connection into that pack salto. Able to spot the landing pretty easily there.
Yeah, let's qualify a little off. You mentioned Oklahoma looked a little off in round 2. It's relative. They went 198, and I know what you mean, because I agree. Their standard is so high. If they take a step or have a form break, it stands out, because normally they're like a drawing out of Dakota points oftentimes. So the standard for them very high. Here's a Wise here, the third gymnast, now a 9.675 in the 2 spot there for Arizona. They're going to want to wipe that one away. It feels like you're not going to get away with counting a 9.675 tonight. Hannah Horton a 9.9 on floor. Kaya Tonskinen, freshman for Missouri. Relatively new to this floor lineup.
Yeah, big score improvement from Hannah Horton on floor. That's going to help Missouri in comparison to round 2. Finishing 1.5. Arizona has got the contagious stick bug too. It's going well for them on beam. Kaya competes internationally for Finland. She actually missed qualifying to the Olympics by just 2 tenths, so hoping to get back to that international competition.
Sarah Hubbard, the 4th gymnast to go. She's got a big vault here and is capable of capitalizing. A pair of 9.9s now for Auburn.
1.5. Wow.
Look at this.
Oh my gosh, that's money. 3 in a row. That is so difficult, John. Head coach Jeff Graba told us that vault has been such a mindset. It's similar to how we used to think or still think about beam. You don't want to try too hard to stick, yet you want to stick every single time, and whatever is going on over there for Auburn, it's working.
Yeah, it's so difficult to stick through. It's kind of impossible to stick 3 in a row. Honestly, it's, you know, flip a coin 3 times head. It's less probability than that because it's just so difficult. It's not that they're not good, but you're flying through the air at that speed. You're flipping and twisting into the land without moving. It's just so hard. Faith Torres follows a pair of 9-9s for Oklahoma. 3 to go here, and they're capable of putting up some big ones at the end.
Nice cast handstand hold from Faith Torres. They really are building on bars. They're one of the best bar teams in the country. Double layout. They are on tonight. I've been really impressed watching this Arizona team on beam. They have really great arm positions, good rhythm. Ooh, see her bend her hips. Good save.
Kaya Thompson in 9875 from Missouri. Mari Celestine now gets her shot. And hold on to your seat because she's a lot of fun on this event.
Emily finishing 1.5, just a hop on the landing. This is most likely the routine they're going to want to drop for Arizona to stay in the game after the first rotation.
I'm handicapping this first rotation, Sam. It feels like Missouri, as strong as they are on floor exercise, they need to be ahead of Auburn, who is on vault, which has been a predominantly lower scoring event. As you see, Zane King for Auburn. Unique vault.
Whoa! 4 in a row. I was just going to say, Paige struggled on the landing, I think because she was trying to stick too hard. Round 2, but not today. They are on fire. Another good routine for Amari.
Just look at this vault again.
It's, first of all, so difficult to do a front handspring, and you see her arms completely straight on the table. That's what helps her get up. I love that front shot. You just see her face light up. She nailed the landing.
Kurt Hettinger, the coach on the right side, is absolutely beside himself. And that vault, it's just silly how hard that vault is. To do a front handspring onto the board. Hard to wrap my head around. Audrey Davis on the right hand of your screen. Elena Dietz for Arizona on the left hand of your screen. Audrey Davis, the best in the country on this event.
Huge Pike Jaeger above the bar. I asked her coaches what makes her handstand so good, and they said it's because the extension of her glide right there. You can see her hips flat. Really puts her in a good position to hold those handstands on top of the bar. Another stuck landing from Oklahoma and Audrey Davis. She's money.
She just flat out never steps on that landing. And I mean that literally. I don't know the last time I saw her take a step.
I know. I want to know what these athletes' mental prep is like. Hers has to be rock solid. But speaking of Oklahoma, Arizona's beam coach Taylor Spears was a gymnast at Oklahoma. She won an NCAA team title with them, and actually an individual title on beam. Really brought a lot to this Arizona team with their preparation.
Celestine, a 9.9 for Missouri. Kennedy Griffin, now the 5th gymnast to go. Just 2 scores at 9.9. Nothing above that. You know the Tigers really would like to see a couple of 9.95s or maybe even better here to finish out.
Opens double pike. When I asked Missouri's head coach Shannon Welker to talk about Kennedy Griffin, the first thing he says is, she's just the bomb. What a good compliment to get from your coach.
Sarah Sarah Zoyce about to go, getting the last few words there from head coach Jeff Graba. You can see him just step out of the screen in his 15th season. I mean, I hate to bet against a stuck landing here on vault, Sam. They have just been at another level.
1.5. That was as close to a stuck landing. He said she actually sticks 50% of those vaults in the gym. Not quite a perfect stick today, but her teammates got that covered for her.
Yeah, the low score for Auburn on vault, a 9.825. So that's the score Sarah Zoyce is going to try to score above. If she can, that score could go up to as high as a 49.5 for Auburn on vault. That would be unbelievable.
Yeah, we talk about Auburn and Arizona needing to be at their best to contend with Missouri and Oklahoma, and Auburn certainly did their job on this first event.
Abigail Martin now for Arizona in that anchor spot, sophomore from Backcliff, Texas.
Nice switch leap. Stag jump.
Audrey Davis, a 9.95. Wow. Jordan Bowers now ranked 11th in the nation on the uneven bar.
Bar is so hard to do that.
And she just did two absolutely perfect handstands.
The coaches say they're so good on this event because this is a really strong-minded team, and you can see that.
Sticks it every time. Barbecue sauce.
What do you
Jordan
take?
Bowers.
That has to be a 10, John.
I mean, there was nothing to take. The handstands were perfect.
Well, their season high on bars is a 49.7, so not sure it'll be that, but maybe it'll get close. Arizona doing their job on beam.
Yeah, you said it. 9.825 for Dietz, and then Martin finishing well there.
Look at this. Big piked Jaeger above the bar, and watch how long she holds this. 1, 2, 3. Finishes, legs glued together, top full in. She knew before she landed that her body was in the perfect spot not to move those feet.
Doesn't give a 10 on that bar routine. We need full disclosure. We need that put on the screen. I need to see that scoring sheet. That was just too good. And she gets it. Set up by that Audrey Davis 9.95, and then Jordan Bowers just hits a home run. Here we go with Jocelyn Moore though on floor exercise. Finishing strong here are the Tigers.
Big double layout. This is such a fun routine.
The 9.875 for Jocelyn Moore here will be enough for them to pass Auburn for second after one rotation. Keep in mind again, the only thing that matters is being in the top two.
We've been asking the Missouri coaches all year, what's been the difference maker? And they talk about Jocelyn Moore, Amari Celestine as being two people that just bring the swagger and the confidence to the team. He said you need those type of people to instill the belief in the rest of your team, and we see it throughout this team. This team believes. Couldn't be more controlled. Does her job again, like we know she does. Opens, double layout. Let's watch the feet in slow-mo. No movement. And watch how controlled. She probably could have stuck this pass. Just places her foot back down. That's exactly how the textbook wants you to show a controlled landing.
Coach Shannon Welker in his 12th season, pumping up his Missouri Tigers. That should move them ahead of the Auburn Tigers, who had a sensational vault rotation. But how about the Oklahoma Sooners finishing with that Bowers 10.0? Her first 10, Sam, on any apparatus this year, which she has been lights out this season. That shocks me. That is her 10th career 10 on all apparatus in her career, but first one this season, and caps off a fantastic bar rotation for the Sooners. Jocelyn Moore, 9.95. That does move Missouri into the second spot, followed by Auburn Tigers and the Arizona Wildcats. Their head honcho, the session at 4:30 Eastern and the session at 9. And then we jump to the finals, April 19th. It's going to be awesome. For more information, visit NCAA.com, the home for all 90 NCAA championships. Our score after one rotation, it is just one of 4, but I tell you what, it is great. As good as that Oklahoma bar rotation was, it is a tight competition, 1 through 3. Arizona, a little trouble on beam, but Auburn and Missouri battling for that second spot. Arizona Wildcats, though, Sam, their head coach, John Court, in his 7th season in that job, his 27th year at Arizona. We had a great conversation with him this week talking about the competition. He's just done a sensational job.
I agree. I came from a Pac-12 program, so competed against him, then covered him early in my broadcast days, and just what he's been able to do with this program has been pretty remarkable. But I asked him what was the difference this year to see such a big improvement. And he said, you know, we've really been focusing on the we strategy instead of the me strategy. And it's made a big difference. They went undefeated at home. They were runner-up regular season champions. They were runner-up at Big 12 championships. So they've done a lot of firsts, not to mention qualifying to the regional finals for the first time.
Yeah, and we saw some emotion in his eyes as well, talking to him after that second round, and he was very emotional about getting here. You saw that 21st ranking. That was after the end of the regular season. It will go up from there by virtue of them being in this regional final. It's just a matter of how high it will go for them. But that round 1, Sam, I mean, heavyweight fighters coming out throwing haymakers from each corner of the arena.
Yeah, that was fun. I saw a lot of stuck landings from Oklahoma and Auburn. It was just on fire. I want to keep this energy going.
Yeah, I think Auburn did themselves the biggest favor. There's so much improvement from round 2 because of vaults like that.
Yeah, well, Sophia Bell just drilled it and then started the stick train right here. Huge, a lot of variety, difficult vaults from Auburn. That is so impressive. Paige Zankamp, front handspring, front pike, needed it right there. Audrey Davis goes on bars and just rinse and repeat this bar routine. Huge 995, another stuck landing from her. And Jordan Bowers set up perfectly from Audrey Davis, and just is so patient on every single handstand. Really lets it ride up and then hits the correct timing to just nail the dismount perfect 10 to get things going for Oklahoma on bars.
Yeah, both Oklahoma and Auburn just a half a tenth off of their season high on their respective events. Auburn, they moved to the uneven bars. Kurt Hedinger on your left, he is the primary bar coach. Jeff Graba in the foreground there. His brother Jess Graba actually coaches Suni Lee, Olympic gold medalist, for those of you watching at home. But here is what it looked like in that first rotation. It's been well documented. A very close meet. Top 3 very tight. Arizona, they might need a little bit of help from those top 3 teams to get themselves back in it.
A lot of times in gymnastics, you talk about who has the momentum. And I feel like there's 3 teams here that really have the momentum going into this second event.
Missouri on vault with Kennedy Griffin. Auburn on bars with Marissa Neal. Oklahoma will be on beam. Arizona on floors.
Kennedy Yurchenko full. Clean in the air, but piked it down a little too soon with the amount of power that she had. Marissa in that leadoff spot, getting a stuck landing for Auburn.
Yeah, a little trouble on that last full pirouette. Looked a little off, had a form break. As close as this competition is, things like that, those form breaks, those missed handstand steps on the landing, watch out. It could cost you. Now, one of the co-national champions on the balance beam last year was Audrey Davis. And look at this. She leads off their beam rotation. Unbelievable. Arizona on floor exercise. Elizabeth LaRusso will get things going there.
Audrey Davis, round 2, she was also in the leadoff spot. She actually got a 10 from one of the 4 judges. That's how phenomenal her routine was last time she did it. Right-hand side of your screen, Arizona on floor. It's been a really steady event for them. They feel like they've improved their presentation on this event. The landings have been more controlled. It's really helped them in their team totals.
LaRusso, a senior out of Las Vegas, Nevada.
Audrey finishing round up double full. What do you take?
I'm going to let you find it. You're the beam queen, Sam.
A beautiful routine. She dipped her chest when she stuck her double full, if we're being picky, but everything looked so good. Finishes front handspring 1.5. Nice start for Arizona on floor.
Kaya Tonskinen on vault follows Griffin's 9.8 for that Yurchenko full.
I was just going to say, Missouri needs one athlete to get the sticks going for them. Kaya got that job done.
Kaya's dad, Yuha, actually one of the coaches for the Michigan Wolverine men's gymnastics team. Her uncle, Yanni, a world champion on the horizontal bar for Finland. Over to the bars, Caroline Leonard now follows a 9.75 from Neal. They're going to want to drop that 9.75.
Caroline's a senior, but she's new to the bar lineup this year. Good, locked in, last cast handstand, double layout. Slid her feet together, but really clean routine.
Addison Theta on beam, a 9.925, Sam. The judges found some deductions. You might want to take that up with them after the competition, but nonetheless, what a way to start.
Oklahoma is really strong on this event. They got a season high on this event just 2 days ago. Good back handspring layout.
Allison Fears follows LaRusso's 9.8. Good start for Arizona here. They just need to keep hitting, sticking landings, and see if an opportunity to move up the standings presents itself.
Split jump, left-hand side of your screen. Addison is just flowing through this beam routine. She looks locked in the zone, finishing. Another stick for Oklahoma. She got a 9.95 round 2. I expect it to be a similar score. Allison, nice combination pass. Legs really straight and tight together.
Elise Tisler for Missouri, left-hand your screen, 9.85 for Kaya Tonskinen.
Yurchenko full. Big Yurchenko full. Nice shapes in the air. Just the hop back.
Again, beautiful Yurchenko full, and I feel like more coaches are going to that because of the landing deductions have been judged so harshly this season, but sometimes I just don't know if they're getting rewarded the way they should. That's probably a 1/10 step or hop on that, and there really was nothing else to take. We'll see if she can score above that 9-8. And Grace Boyd on bars for Auburn.
She's been really consistent. Nice pirouette on top of the bar. Judges want to see you finish the pirouette and handstand. Stalled her into a double back. Really beautiful lines throughout that routine. Auburn keeps doing their job, John.
Absolutely. Trying to put some pressure on what are currently the top two teams, Missouri and Oklahoma. Oklahoma's Lily Peterson on the beam now. There's Kata's 9.9.
Backhand spring layout. Slight foot movement at the end. But she's really quick to adjust on her skills.
Sophie Durr continues a great rotation for Arizona here on the floor. 9.875 for Fears. Put together some 9.9 plus scores and get a fourth team making this interesting.
Sophie Durr scored a 9.775 in round 2, so definitely an opportunity to better that. One step for Lily Peterson on beam. But the way they're going, they don't need that score.
Tisler's 9.8.
Doing Yurchenko 1.5. Did she get the landing? Wow.
There you go.
So 4 Missouri gymnasts have vaulted, 2 have stuck. 50%'s not bad.
Yeah, these first 2 rotations on vault, we have honestly not seen a lot of stuck vaults throughout this regional, but today, both Tiger teams certainly changing that. Look at the distance on this too, Sam.
Huge, 1.5, and she just flares it out with her hips, stretches her hips out on the last half twist to just sink into the mat. Nicely done.
There was a time and place, probably not in 2025, where that vault's a 10. And I would be surprised if she gets one here. Certainly going to break that 9.9, though, for the first time for Missouri on vault. Sophia Groth, Auburn rather, looking for their first 9.9 here in this rotation.
Yeah, really good handstands. Wow, looked like she was going to miss her right hand. Caught herself quickly. Great quick adjustment. Really nice last handstand. Beautiful routine from Sophia Groth. Maybe the best all season I've seen her do.
Could be Auburn's first 9.9 of the rotation, trying to keep pace with that Hannah Horton. 9.95 for Missouri on vault. Jordan Bowers on balance beam follows Lily Peterson's 9.85. You can see on the scoring tower right hand of your screen the lightly shaded score. That is the low score at this point of the rotation for that team. So theoretically, that would be the score that would be dropped if all other scores are higher. Remember, 5 scores per team per event.
Jordan and her teammate Audrey were both AAI award finalists. Really strong competitors throughout their career.
Durr, just a 9.725 for Arizona in that third spot. Abigail Martin next up.
Round off double full, left-hand side of your screen. Just a slight slide at the end, but still going to be a really strong score for OU. They're cruising.
Sophia Groth, first 9.9 for Auburn on the uneven bars. Jocelyn Moore now on vault from Missouri.
Another big 1.5. Could stick. Just a small hop forward. That's still going to be a really good score because of how high it was. Good body shapes in the air. But it looks like you got to stick a 1.5 to score 9.95.
Yeah, and absolutely, you nailed it, Sam. That, in my opinion, that should be probably a 9.9 for that 110 step, but she was working so hard. You
Yeah.
see her legs trying to hold on to that.
Good double back from Abigail. Fun floor routine.
Well done from Abigail Martin. She anchored that beam rotation as well. Fourth up here on the floor exercise. If you're looking on the right-hand score tower, the top score under Auburn and Missouri, that's a lightly shaded score. So if you want to kind of follow where they're at home, you compare second gymnast to second gymnast, third gymnast to third gymnast, and so on. You can kind of start to get an idea of who has the advantage over the other team. Remember, Missouri had a 1/10 lead over Auburn for that second spot. Fun math at home, we call that. Alex Irvine on the right for Auburn, Kira Wells for Oklahoma, left-hand of the screen.
Nice Jaeger overshoot connection on the right-hand side of your screen. Back up to the high bar. Locks in the last handstand. Low on that stick, but it was a stick. Man, Auburn looks strong. They've got that it factor today.
So Alex Irvine trying to keep pace with Jocelyn Moore's 9.825. Very close between these two teams through this rotation. We'll see what the judges do with that Irvine score.
Yeah, well, Alex Irvine scored a 9.925 2 days ago during round 2. Not sure it's going to be quite that high, but still should be a pretty good score for Auburn. I really love how Kira works beam. She's quick, but also flowy and artistic throughout this routine.
The thing that always stands out to me, Sam, about Oklahoma's beams, they're so precise. Every arm movement, every step, every leap, it's just, they have command over it.
Yeah. Well, finding your arms is the second rule of beam, John. So we'll get through all three before the meet ends. But that's what makes them so strong, I agree, is how strong their arm positions are throughout their routines.
And the Strom now for Arizona on floor exercise. Abigail Martin gets those scores moving back in the upward direction with that 9.825. Wildcats would love a couple of 9.9 pluses here to finish out.
Well, Emma scored a 9.9 2 days ago. This is such a fun routine. You're not going to want to miss it.
Celestine will be your anchor. Beautiful pass there, right hand of your screen. Celestine, the anchor from Missouri on vault.
1-2 punch, 1.5. Oh, man, so close to another stuck landing. She wanted it.
Well, get this, Sam. If you drop the low score through 5 gymnasts from Missouri and Auburn in this rotation, they are exactly tied going into their anchor gymnast. So Mari Celestine versus Olivia Greaves. Which one will score higher? That team will be in the lead over the other heading into the third rotation.
So you're saying it's nail biter.
It is absolutely. What else did you expect after what we've seen throughout all 4 regional sites? Faith Torres, the anchor. She is the co-NCAA champion on this event with her teammate Audrey Davis. Kira Wells at 9.85.
Well, Faith was perfect during round 2 on this routine. She scored 3 of the 4 perfect 10s you can get.
Her first perfect 10 on this apparatus. Nicely done from Emma Strom as well for Arizona.
Arizona's hoping for another 9.9 from Emma Strom. Good switch leap straddle jump. This might be a weird thing to say, but I really like watching Faith's toes on this event. She just adjusts them so well. They're always moving throughout this game routine to help her stay on.
Automatic for Torres. Now Olivia Greaves went 9.95 in round 2 on this event. Man, that would be big for them again here.
Ooh, little cockeyed on that Van Leeuwen backup, but she gains control again. Needs a stick landing. Small hop, still really good.
I'm really curious, Sam. I'll let you talk about this quick first.
Little leg separation, and from the other angle, you could see she was cockeyed and shy on that last handstand, so not sure it's going to reach the 9.875.
Yeah, I'll be interested because there seem like a lot of little foot slips, and it's one of those types of deductions. Do the judges see it where they're sitting? Do they catch that? Do they take deductions? It could be, you know, they could get a couple tenths throughout that routine if they really wanted to. Just depends what they saw compared to what we saw. As Emily Muller will anchor the Arizona floor lineup. Emma Strama 9.9, first one for the Wildcats in this rotation.
She's 2 in a row on 9.9s for floor. Good double pike opening pass. The key here is landings. Can she keep them planted? Nicely done. Finishing double back. Arizona has 4 3-pass routines. I just got to highlight that because it feels a little bit rare from teams around the country. So love seeing so many tumbling passes from this team and clean landings from all 3 of them. She has really good technique on her round-off back handspring in particular.
Good finish for Muller, the 2-time team MVP for the Arizona Wildcats. They will move on to the vault in the next rotation. Olivia Greaves, a 9.85. So Missouri wins the rotation over Auburn by .025. Needed another quarter tenth on that Greaves score to tie that rotation, but that means they add a quarter tenth to their lead. That means Auburn trails Missouri by .125. You can see the scores bottom right of your screen. The top 2 team totals, and then 3rd and 4th represent how far behind 2nd they are. So right now, Auburn .125 behind Missouri. Again, top 2 is the most important thing in this competition. Arizona fans well beyond the Missouri fan base are going to miss those 2 athletes. They bring so much personality along with great gymnastics. That Missouri team, a senior heavy laden team, but the Oklahoma Sooners on the other hand, KJ Kindler, she's got a group of freshmen, a very freshman heavy lineup, 9 to 24 routines in round 2 by freshmen. Early in the season it was even higher, more freshman routines than any other team in the SEC at one point this season, Sam.
Yes, 6 freshmen out of 16, but head coach KJ Kindler really attributes their success to the strong leadership. Audrey Davis, Jordan Bowers are 2 of the leaders on their team to help acclimate these freshmen, but I think it's also still really important to note that they're freshmen. You really don't know how they're going to handle the postseason, and these 3 athletes have just been doing phenomenal.
They are freshmen, Sam, but they're not your typical freshmen. We're talking high-level elite gymnasts. We're talking about junior national all-around champions. So they have a high pedigree, but yes, you got to come into this and learn the college scene, and they've done an amazing job. And certainly Oklahoma, Missouri, the top 2 teams so far. What have you liked?
Oh, man. Well, Oklahoma's just doing their job, exactly what we've seen for them all season. They look really consistent. They look in the zone. So, to me, I'm really looking at Missouri and Auburn right now. Auburn's going to beam. Missouri's going to bars. Missouri has a slight advantage in their scoring potential on bars in comparison to Auburn on beam, but I think it's still really tight, and both of these teams seem to be elevating each other tonight.
A couple of highlights from that last rotation.
Hannah Horton, Yurchenko 1.5, just drilling the landing. Watch her arms come out. Help to stop her momentum to a perfect stick. Man, that was good. And then Faith Torres on balance beam. She got a 10 just a couple of days ago. Maybe that slight bobble there was the reason for her 9.95, but she just is so consistent every single time she competes.
Disappointing 9.95, right, Sam? After you get a 10, man, that's a tough act to follow.
It is, but I think, you want to save something in the tank for NCAAs.
All four teams with some big highlights in that last rotation. A couple 9.9s from Arizona on floor. We talked about that Torres score. Sophia Groth, a veteran there, putting together a 9.9 for Auburn on bars. So here we go into this third rotation. Arizona looking for some stuck landings. Not a lot of high start values here, so they need to hit clean.
Yurchenko full. The slide back, but strong start.
Missouri will be on the uneven bars, as Sam mentioned. Auburn on balance beam. Oklahoma, the third of 3 events where they are ranked number 1 in the nation. So they start the meet on bars, and they go to beam and floor. They are ranked number 1 on all 3 of those. And then they go to vault, where they're just a lowly 3rd ranked in the nation on vault. What a team, man.
Yeah, Missouri almost scored a season-high bar score just a couple of days ago, so maybe tonight's the night where they do get that season high.
Olivia Ahern leads things off. Such an important routine. I think the most important in all the lineups, that lead off on beam. Meanwhile, Kira Burns, right hand of your screen from Missouri on bars.
Yeah, the good thing about Kira Burns is that she really likes to go in the front end. That's something that the coaches at Missouri pride themselves on. They talk to the athletes about where they want to go. Feels like it really helps them shine. Good routine on the bar, but I've seen her stick that double layout. Olivia does a nice job absorbing the beam after her skills. She doesn't stand up too quickly. She's really patient through this routine. Finishing 1.5 to a stuck. Landed a little short with those bent knees, but got the job done.
Yeah, held on to it. And that, again, that's a spot where the judges can deduct. Believe it or not, if you bend too far down in that squat position when you land, they can take something if they want. Here's Audrey Davis leading off this floor rotation, the number 1 floor team in the country. Emily Muller on ball follows a 9.775, the opening score for LaRusso.
Yurchenko full to a stuck landing. Couldn't have done anything better. She flared it slightly before she landed. She looked surprised.
That's what they need. Just stick those landings. You can only control what you do in the sport of gymnastics. There's no defense. So Arizona, just got to max out those scores.
Audrey Davis is a grad student, so I gotta remind you that it is so taxing on your body to do a floor routine, and then you add on 5 years of college gymnastics on top of that. She does such a good job just enjoying this routine and exuding that love for the sport in this routine specifically.
Nicely done from Audrey Davis. Sarah Zoyce, second up. Ahern just a 9.725. You see the leadoff score from Missouri, a 9.825, 1/10 advantage for Missouri. They already have a .125 lead over Auburn. And here goes Hannah Horton. The two teams battling for that second spot, side by side. What more could you ask for?
Well, Hannah Horton scored a 9.95 in round 2. Really clocks in that pirouette to vertical. It's going well again. Good hold before the dismount. Finishing double layout. Hop on the dismount, though. She knows it. She was going to be disappointed and then remembered, okay, I got to smile. I got to keep the energy up. Out up double twist. I think Olivia got hammered on the dismount for landing a little bit with too much bent knees, so I'm wondering if Sarah might get deducted in a similar way here.
Yeah, deep squat. It's funny, we just talked about that. Another deep squat on the landing. It was a stuck landing, but one of those areas that, although it looks perfect, there still could be a deduction. Danny Sievers follows Audrey Davis's 9.9. Nice leadoff score for the Sooners. Abigail Martin, third up for Arizona. 9.8 for Muller in the 2 spot for the Wildcats.
Need another stuck landing. Yurchenko full. Bigger full, but a bigger hop back at the end, too. Nice double pike from Danny Sievers. Just a slight slide with that front foot. I don't think those small things are going to matter for Oklahoma in this competition. They're on their way to Fort Worth.
Yeah, you said it, Sam, but you know where they're going to matter. And they're going to matter at the NCAA semifinals, and certainly in the finals should Oklahoma be there. So not the worst thing to have a few things to work on in the next couple weeks, but also got to be careful when it comes down to the end. In this sport, you've got to almost be perfect every time.
I actually think it benefits teams to have some adversity throughout the season, have some falls in lineups that they need to come back from, because it builds a little bit of grit for the postseason and confidence, if you will.
Paige Sandcan, we saw that sensational vault from her in the first rotation. Here she is on beam now. 2 scores for Auburn in the 9.7s. That second one, a 9.775. Match that up against Hannah Horton's 9.75. So slight advantage for Auburn with the second gymnast.
Yeah, well, head coach Jeff Graba talks about Paige Zancan. He said, when she's on, she's on. So I'm still remembering that vault in my head. And I'm hoping for her it's transferring over to beam as well. Finishing round off 1.5. Really good stick. Not too much of a deep bend like we saw from a couple of her teammates. So that score should definitely be the highest one for Auburn.
Will that get them into the 9.8s? It certainly looks like it. How high will it go? We'll find out in a moment. Jocelyn Moore, we know how high she can go. Here she is on bars.
Yeah, watch this Tkachev. Huge over the bar. Catches a little close, but does a good job working out of it, pushing away from the bar to get the connection.
No one does it higher than that, Sam. That is absolutely ridiculous.
It's bananas. It's so high. Stuckling, this is going to be a really high score. They needed it.
Quickly over to Emma Strom for Arizona.
Another Yurchenko, full, clean in the air. Check out this Tkachev. 1, 2, 3. You see, she caught with a little bit of bend. It's actually really difficult to work out of that. So good job for Jocelyn to generate enough swing not to have it affect the rest of her routine.
We were going to put the height meter on that, Sam, but it didn't go high enough. It wasn't Jocelyn. It wasn't Jocelyn Moore proof. Unfortunately, we'll have to do that for the next round. That was sensational. Here's Elle Miller, one of the freshmen we noted. Here she is, her first look today.
I love this Florentine. Really making a statement her freshman year. coaches say that she really rises up during competition, and they really loved finding that out about her. Not too bad to be a gamer, John.
Absolutely. She's a junior national all-around champion. Also won the Nasty and Lucan Cup, which is a big-time level 10 competition. She has an elite pedigree as well. So nice get for the Oklahoma Sooners. Marissa Neal, left hand in your screen, follows Zancan's 9.85, which if you see the score tower, a quarter of a tenth higher than Moore's score. Sam, I think the judges might have got more on that catch, do you think, for that Tkachev being a little bit too close?
Yeah, I think that's what it had to be, but man, this is very atypical for Missouri on bars, but the last three in the lineup do have the potential to score big. Marissa, 1.5, easy, stuck straight to that straight leg vertical position. Nicely done.
4 for 4 on stuck landings. Yes, they had a couple of low landings, but those feet have not moved for Auburn in this rotation.
That's true. You can tell they practice ticks in the gym.
Olivia Kelly now. This is an important half of a rotation for Missouri. Auburn keeping right with them.
Good connection. Olivia actually scored a perfect 10 from one of the 4 judges just 2 days ago. She's capable of a big score for Missouri.
Allison Fears, left hand of your screen for Arizona.
Allison Fears, Yurchenko, 1.5, full, excuse me. It's so big it could have been a 1.5. Really nice. Again, a little close to the bar. It tells me that they're a little nervous. They do not want to be too far. See that one step on the dismount, that's a 10th.
You know that feeling, right, Sam? I mean, we've been there where you just want to catch it. You want to avoid the big mistake. You'll take the small one, and that might be maybe what you're seeing a little bit from Missouri on bars.
Yeah, I think so too. Just a little bit of nerves there.
Addison Theta on floor exercise. Elle Miller, 9.95. Nicely done. Sophia Groth on beam. She's outstanding here for Auburn.
Sophia scored 9.9 a couple of days ago, so they really need her to repeat that here. She's certainly capable of getting in that range. Beautiful lead combination. Addison, right-hand side of your screen, 2.5. Nice step forward. Sophia finishing just a slight hop, a really good job on the beam.
Yeah, those landings, it could be a 0.5 up to 2/10 for a hop or a step. That looked kind of close to the 0.5 hop. We'll see.
Head coach KJ Kindler said that no one is more inquisitive about how to get better than Addison Theta. They've been super impressed with how she works in the gym.
Former member of the U.S. national team. Was in that process took a shot at the Olympic team last year. Didn't quite get there, but outstanding gymnast nonetheless. Jessa Janicki, on vault.
Looked like she was really going for that stick. Didn't have enough rotation to get it all the way around.
And really, that doesn't hurt them that much. All their scores, you can see very close to that 9.8 number. So they really were just trying to get something bigger, trying to go for that 9.9. Amari Celestine on bars follows Kelly's 9.85.
The important thing for Amari is to not try too hard. She just needs to do her normal here. Not think about the pressure, not think about the scores. Just lock it in.
Just like that.
That's what she did. Yep, exactly. Look at Whitney Snowden, their associate head coach right there. Big fist pump in the back.
Tremendous bar coach.
Pack salto. That's normally a little bit higher. Rushed it slightly. But unique dismount pike half. And they needed that stick landing.
So you can see Sophia Groth, a 9.9. We'll see if Amari Celestine's score can keep pace with that 9.9. Gabby McLaughlin now capable of blowing right past that 9.9. And if Auburn's ever needed a 9.9 plus, it is right now. Because Missouri's got a superstar anchor, Mara Teeter-Soley, in their anchor position on bars. Jordan Bowers on the floor exercise, and again, she's tied for 3rd in the NCAA. She's also the 2nd-ranked all-arounder in the country.
Yeah, you talk about superstar anchors, and Jordan Bowers could definitely anchor this lineup. She isn't the anchor, but she could be. That's how good she is. Gabby McLaughlin doing a really good job. Wobble there, trying to finesse it. The judges have been on it tonight, so I don't know if they're going to let that one slide. But really good finish. That should still be a good score for Auburn.
Probably in that 9.9 range. If you look at the Missouri-Auburn scores right hand of your screen, they're both at a 49.1. That is with still counting that low. They each have a low score in the 9.7s. 9.725 for Auburn, 9.75 for Missouri. So this rotation will depend on McLaughlin and Teeter-Soley's score and where they go into that 4th and final rotation.
And OU is just cranking out these 9.9 pluses on floor. I expect that to be another 9.9 plus routine. Opens with a really nice double full punch front. Love how the front tuck rises. It's higher than the double full. Nicely done. Gets her chest up quickly on the double pike, John.
I tell you what, I talked to Jordan Bowers about how she competes and how she just has this intense focus. And it reminds me, I tell my kids whenever they go out on a sporting event, I go, kids, lion mode. You need to be in lion mode. Jordan Bowers, she is in lion mode. Somebody else who needs to be in lion mode is Mara Teeter-Soley. She has been perfect, has gotten a 10 on this event.
Really good pirouette to the bar.
Jordan Bowers, right hand of your screen, another 10. What a night for her and the Sooners.
She's having such a good day, and Mara is having a good day too. They needed that bar routine.
A 9.8 from Teeter-Soley in Missouri on that bar routine will keep them in 2nd ahead of the Auburn Tigers. I don't think there's any question that it is going to be above a 9.8. How close to a 10, Sam, is more like it?
I had the same question. It certainly could be. Could these judges give a 10 twice on bars in one night? We'll see.
Faith Torres, the anchor here on floor exercise. You know, 10s were hard to come by. Judges made these athletes earn it, Sam, and I wonder if it made them focus and be a little sharper in practice, because these 10s, these look like real 10s. You know, sometimes in past years we've seen scores that got 10s that really weren't, but these athletes peaking at the right time.
Yeah, well, speaking of 10s, Faith Torres got a 10 from 2 of the 4 judges. Just 2 days ago, that meant her score was a 9.975. But talk about somebody capable of scoring another 10. This athlete right here.
The low score for Oklahoma on floor exercise is a 9.9 at 49.7. Less than a 10th off their season high, and that is before Faith Torres' score comes in.
The landings look good. You see the team just getting all riled up Everyone's real loose over there once these 10s start flowing. And John, we're talking about 10s. I gotta make note that it's actually harder to get 10s in the postseason because there's more judges. So not only are we seeing more, but more people thought that it was perfect, which is even more impressive. Great double layout, stretched hips from Faith Torres, finishing with a combination pass, front tuck to a double back. No movement with those feet. That's important.
So Al Miller had a 9.95, and why not? Why not another 10? Back-to-back 10s, and that is a season-high 49.8 for Oklahoma on floor exercise. Greatness is right in front of us, Sam.
Dang, we talk about peaking at the right time. Oklahoma is trying to give a little teaser to every other team out there. Get ready for us in Fort Worth this year.
Man, oh man, that ties the highest floor score amongst all teams across the country this season. I'm at a loss.
On bars, it was so good. Her handstands were just holding in the vertical position. She should have gotten a 10.1 for that. This was a really solid Beamer Team 2.99 there. Third event, 10.0. Can she get another 10 on vault? That's what I really want to know. She is on fire in the all-around here today. Faith Torres going after Jordan Bauer's perfect 10, being set up so nicely from her teammates in that lineup. I think their lowest score was a 9.9 and ending with 2 perfect 10s. That's not too bad heading into postseason. They're going to want to put that in their pocket for later.
So here's your meet summary. Really, the thing you need to know is that Missouri has extended the lead over Auburn by up to 2/10 now. It is a 2/10 lead. That is the cushion they have to go to the NCAA semifinals. This is going to be a dramatic finish. Freshman Lily Peterson starts things off for Oklahoma. This is an event I know they're looking for some improvement over the second round, Sam.
Yurchenko 1.5 almost had that stick.
Emily Muller starts things off for Arizona. They are in that 4th spot. Long ways away from the top 2, but nonetheless, remember, end of the season rankings on the line here, too. They're going to move up from that 21st rankings. It's just a matter of how far.
They're wanting to finish strong, and this is a really good, clean leadoff bar routine. The emotions are high from every team here. You got to remember that the seniors, for 2 of these teams, it's their last meet ever.
Amy Weir starts things off for Missouri. And again, such an important lineup spot. Sets the tone for the most difficult event in women's gymnastics. You want to set it off on the right foot. And going at the same time, Auburn over on floor exercise, Olivia Ahern. Head-to-head, Missouri and Auburn for a berth in the NCAA semifinals. Here we go.
Amy Weir, left-hand side of your screen, just broke her connection. And like a champ, just totally works into a back handspring layout. No issues with that. So she's back on go there, scoring a 9.9 in round 2. So capable of a big score. Really needs to be aggressive to set the tone for the rest of the team. Oh no. Just completely missed her foot on those jumps. That is not good for Missouri. Oh no, big mistake for Auburn on floor. I feel like I'm watching the Alabama-Florida meet all over. Cal and Alabama both had a mistake from their first competitors on the last event. Why is this deja vu? There is so much pressure out there right now, John.
Wow. You saw Amy Weir have the mistake, and you're thinking, this is Auburn's chance. And then Ahern has that mistake on that last pass, and here we go again.
Watch her heels. Her heels were just off, and then I actually think she could have made it, but it seemed like she panicked a little bit, and that's really what made her completely split the beam there. Really unfortunate.
So 5 scores of the 6 count. Remember that. So for Missouri and Auburn, I bet they're both thinking over on the sidelines, all right, we're not going to count that one. We're going to get 5 hits. We shall see. Faith Torres follows Peterson's 9.85. All 10 overall for Oklahoma.
Yeah, another Yurchenko, 1.5. So you were talking about Oklahoma wanting to improve this event. They didn't break a 9.9 on round 2 just 2 days ago, which is 0.3 lower than their event NQS. So I think we all know, assuming they land the rest on their feet, they're going to advance to Fort Worth. But this is more of a personal team goal to see improvement here.
Yeah, absolutely. A hop like that you just saw from Faith Torres here in 2025, that's a 2/10 hop oftentimes from the judges. So when you do the difficult 1.5 twist vault, starts at a 10, difficult landing, a blind landing, taking a step could oftentimes be more than a 10. So they're not getting the reward you have in the past. And you see a team like we've seen Florida, we've seen LSU, the top teams, they usually stick a couple of vaults. This is an event I think Oklahoma could be at a disadvantage unless they can find a couple throughout their rotation where they can stick that landing. Again, here today is not going to matter. But next round, got to be cleaner on those landings. Aubrey Kronfeld now 9.775 from Muller in the leadoff spot.
I liked that first handstand, and way to save her hands, catching that Maloney on the high bar.
Amari Celestine in the 2 spot. Man, the pressure on the veteran.
Yeah, but if there's one person on this team you want going after a fall, it's Amari. This is an event where she has found confidence here.
8.925 for Weir in the leadoff spot. It feels like another major mistake for Missouri. Could be the end of the road for them here in 2025.
The goal for Amari is to have 0 negative thoughts. She needs to have such a strong mind right now throughout this beam routine.
Paige Sandcan on floor follows. Ahern's 9.8. Surprised actually that broke a 9.8. I thought they were going to put her down a little lower, but good sign for Auburn.
And Amari puts things back on track for Missouri. She knows it. She knows how important that routine was for them to go to Fort Worth. Looking to get things back on track for Auburn. This has really been the event that has been the hardest for Auburn because there's been so many lineup changes. Olivia Hollingsworth is out. Caitlin Jong is out.
Yes, you're absolutely right. It's been a challenge for the Auburn Tigers in that event. Great coaching job by that staff this year. Here, well for Oklahoma on ball. Pair 9.85s for the Sooners.
Big Yurchenko 1.5. Just that one step forward. I like the air time we're seeing here with these vaults.
Did she go out of bounds right here, Sam? We're told the flag did not go up. Ooh, that pinky toe. Ooh. Yeah, look where the judges are sitting, though. The angle of her foot from where the judges are sitting is not a good angle. And that could be, I don't know if she clipped her toenails today or not. It might come down to that.
I'm glad I didn't have to make that decision.
That is a 1/10 deduction. Keep that 1/10 on your scratch pad at home. I know you guys are keeping score. Put 1/10 on the side, out of bounds, question mark. That could be the difference. Sophie Durham bars.
A little close on that release move. We're seeing that a lot today because there's a lot of pressure. And we talked about it earlier, but coming a little closer to the bar is certainly better than missing it.
Larry Jackson follows Celestine's 9.825.
aggressive series. That's a tough one to connect under pressure, but she handled it well.
Again, if you're at home, look at the scores on the right hand. Forget about the first score from each team, from Auburn and Missouri. Look at the second one. Assume they drop that first one. It's a quarter-tenth advantage for Auburn. Zancan, a quarter-tenth higher than Celestine. They had a 2/10 lead coming into this rotation. Hypothetically, that means it's now under 2/10. Getting a little closer are the Auburn Tigers. Pressure on Missouri here with 4 to finish their beam routines. Sophia Bell on floor exercise. She's sensational here. Not too many go higher than she does. Scored a 9-9 in round 2.
Rayleigh has been so calm during this beam routine. She's got to stick the landing, though. And she doesn't. They're back on track. But man, can Sophia Bell light up this floor routine? She had the high score just 2 days ago with the 9-9. Coach Jeff Grava said that she is just raw power. He said she's really got to calm herself down before tumbling passes. Otherwise, she's going to run out of the building.
That's a fade on vault for Oklahoma. Scores improving a little bit. 98.75 for Wells.
Looking for those clean landings.
Oh!
What does it mean when one foot sticks and one foot lifts?
I think that's a step, Sam.
Does it count as half the deductions? Great job, Sophia Bell. Watch how long this lunge is, though. It's possible that the judge could take a little deduction since they were looking for controlled landings.
I don't know. The judge behind her was nodding her head and smiling. So somebody, one of the 4 liked it. Back over to bars, Abigail Martin with her final performance of the day. Arizona putting together a nice bar rotation here. Every score improving from the one prior.
Yeah, they're really in their own zone here, just doing well, bar team after bar team. Double layout, stuck landing. That was a really good bar routine. Scored a 9.85 a couple days ago. Could better that here.
Addison Lawrence on beam now. Let's look over to the right side one more time. The second and third gymnasts for both Auburn and Missouri. Advantage for both of them to Auburn by 1/10. Question for those watching at home. What was the lead after 3? It was 2/10. It's down to 1. If you assume we're dropping the first score from both teams, holy cow, this is going to come down to the wire.
And Addison just was really aggressive on our series. That's a good sign for the rest of her routine. She looks confident up there.
And at the same time, here goes Olivia Grieve for Auburn on floor exercise. Can they eat into that lead a little more?
Good first pass for Auburn. Man, this meet's so close. Left-hand side of your screen. Addison goes for 1.5. Step on the dismount. Man, they got to stick these. Every 10th counts here. Finishes double pike. She also looked close to the edge, but don't think she went out of bounds.
Pretty sure she stayed in on that one, but man, flirting with disaster. Elle Miller, outstanding floor last rotation. Here she is on vault. She can stick this.
Yeah, I've seen her drill this landing. Not quite as precise as I've seen her in the past.
Might as well go to the tape here. Is she in, Sam?
double pike. It looks like she knew she was close and didn't totally stretch her back leg. So she's an elite athlete, veteran. She knew better than to fully stretch her lunge.
Reminds me of Justin Jefferson for the Vikings, Sam, keeping it in bounds.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, I know you were. We'll get you on the Viking bandwagon. All right, so here's what we're looking at. Olivia Greaves, you saw her just finish that floor routine. Addie Lawrence at 9.85. Olivia Greaves, any higher than that, gets them closer. Right now, a 10th separating those two teams as we see Elena Dietz on bars for Arizona.
Nice failed handstand. Elena is a Big 12 Specialist of the Year for her phenomenal work throughout this entire season. She's a 5th year, so assuming that they don't qualify, that was her last routine ever. What a career she's had.
Olivia Kelly, the 5th gymnast to go here for Missouri. After 4 gymnasts from each Auburn and Missouri, assuming they're dropping that first score, that lightly shaded score on the right hand of your screen, it's an advantage for Missouri of 0.75. The lead is now less than a 10th of a point with 2 gymnasts for each team to go.
She scored a 9.9 2 days ago. She's just a freshman too, by the way. And you gotta know, she knows what's on the line here. But she looks completely unfazed.
Wow, that wolf turn though, Sam, was teetering there for a moment.
But she didn't react. That's important.
Gabby McLaughlin now on floor. McLaughlin and Groth to finish for Auburn.
Round up 1.5 to a stuck landing. It's going to be a really good score for Missouri. Gabby McLaughlin opening combination pass.
Wow, she was under-rotated. Yeah, she was under-rotated on that first salto, Sam. It looked like she was going to have trouble making that second one, but savvy veteran handled it.
Yeah, really good save. Maybe freshmen can not understand the pressure quite seriously, but Gabby McLaughlin's a 5th year. She knows what's on the line here.
Jordan Bowers is sitting on a 29.9 out of 30 in the all-around. Can she get another 10 here? Gonna have to stick it.
I think she might. She is on. What a day for Jordan Bowers. She's superstitious. So whatever she did from the time she woke up to the meet, she's got to do that every single meet. KJ's laughing right there too. She's like, man, that was just phenomenal. Watch this. Wanted to lift her feet, but like her upper body just completely froze.
So here's what we're looking at. That was great, Jordan, but we got something else to look at here. We have got Olivia Kelly, a 9.825 for Missouri. We're waiting for Gabby McLaughlin's score to come in. If it's a 9.9, Missouri and Auburn will be tied going into the last gymnast. Well, guess who Missouri's got? They've got Double H. Her friends call her Double H. I'm going to call her Double H. Helen Hu, maybe the best beam worker in the country. She's been perfect this season on this event. Never in her career has she done a routine under more pressure than she is right now. And that was a 10 for Jordan Bowers. Never has a 10 been overshadowed more by what's happening on the other event than right now. Allison Fears finishes things up for Arizona on bars, but right now, all the pressure on Helen Hu.
Big double layout on the right-hand side of your screen. You know, the interesting thing about Helen Hu finishing on beam right now is head coach Shannon Welker was disappointed at SECs that they weren't going to be able to finish on beam because he wanted to finish with this athlete right here.
A year ago, Helen was not even in gymnastics. She took a year and traveled the world, was not planning on coming back. Stepped into the Missouri practice gym one day and thought, what else can I do? Can I still do this? Got up on beam, and Shannon Welker said, you know, Helen, you got some eligibility left. How about we give this one more run? She said yes, and here it is paying off for the Missouri Tigers. They have a .025 lead over Auburn. She can ice it with a 10.
believe she held on to that stick. Holy cannoli. That was beautiful. It most certainly could be another perfect 10 for Helen Hu.
If it's a 10 for Helen Hu, it's over. Missouri will advance. We'll see what the judges do. Holding on to that stuck landing was big for her. Here's Sophia Groth. All she can do is try to be perfect.
And she is so good on this event. She's really clean. She's fun to watch. She typically gets her leaps all the way around. Good job holding the landing. Good combination pass,
close.
but landed a bit low.
Helen Hu, a 9.925. I believe Sophia Groth, a 9.95 will tie. Anything higher will get them to advance. This landing has got to be absolutely perfection.
Doing that 3-pass routine, no issues there. It's really leaving it up to the judges at this point. If this is her last routine, what a good one to end on. She has been just such a phenomenal athlete and leader for this Auburn team. It's been a joy to watch her throughout her time at Auburn.
Absolutely an amazing performance by Auburn. So much adversity, losing their best two all-arounders earlier this year, but they kept it together. This pass, Sam, is I'm wondering, is she too low? Is this the deduction right there?
Yeah, she missed her punch a little bit and saved it. I'm really curious what the judges are going to do there.
I will be surprised with that deep landing. As if it's got to be a 9.95. Jeff Grable with some words to his team. Hats off to that team and that coaching staff to be here in this situation at all. And Sophia Groth, a 9.85. Missouri with that 9.925 from the beam star, Helen Hu. Let's just say, Helen, you know who we're talking about. They will advance in an absolute nail-biter over the other Tigers in the conference, Auburn. Wow, what a finish, Sam.
Incredible. I mean, Auburn started out, lights out on vault, and stayed in the game. A lot of people did not even think they would be good competition here tonight, and they almost were so close to earning that spot to Fort Worth. How happy is Missouri's head coach Shannon Welker for bringing Helen Hu back this year?
Genius coaching. Absolutely genius, right? Every once in a while, your athletes, they make you look good, but he was smart to talk her into it, certainly, and he's the happiest man in the room with her on that team. They've got a couple individual specialists, that Maratita Soli on bars and Helen Hu on beam. They certainly don't do a lot of routines, but the ones they do, wow, they have an impact.
And it's every single time. They're so consistent at a high level. That's what's so impressive to me. And the grit that we saw from Missouri today, having a fall in that first competitor, there was so much pressure on the rest of the 5 athletes in that beam lineup to finish on that event, to pull it together as a team. They wanted it. That was a willpower hit for that team.
And the scoreboard in-house has finally let the Missouri Tigers know, and you can see the emotion. Left side of your screen was joyous, and the Auburn Tigers, who we just saw on the right side, not. And for that head coach, he's got to be thrilled, but you got to think, Sam, excitement and relief. There's a fine line between the two of those.
Well, I'm laughing because did you see him take